Now, so many people made a ton of money this year investing in Bitcoin. What do you think of Bitcoin? We had current JP Morgan CEO Jamie Dimon come out and say it's a fraud. Do you think Bitcoin is a fraud?
Yes.
And why is that?
Well, I think he's right. I mean, I think that I don't think it's a great model. I'm not saying cryptocurrencies there won't be one. I think there will be one, but I think it has to have some backing by some central governments out there, because the biggest problem I see with Bitcoin, why I would never buy it, is that they can steal them from you. Like, they hack into your phone or something. I know people that have lost all their money like that, and also it's just the idea that it's basically, listen, I mean, the currency all is air, I guess, when you think about it, right? But this specifically, because it's being backed by nothing other than a program that creates artificial scarcity, it seems kind of bizarre to me that it could really ever be sustainable forever without the, listen, things go artificially up very, very high and they go artificially down, right? The whole reason the Federal Reserve was introduced into the economy was to try to helpfully cushion those blows and panics, right? There won't be a time when everyone is freaking out about Bitcoin and dumps it and God knows what's going to happen. Or like with Mt. Gox, when that went back, and all of a sudden they found out that, wait a second, my Bitcoins aren't safe. It was in the bank and the bank is gone. There's all these bumps in the road. And I also think that sooner or later, a central bank or a consortium is going to introduce their own cryptocurrency, and that is what's going to take hold.
Yeah, the Fed has been pretty quiet about Bitcoin. We haven't really heard much from them.
The Chinese central bank has not been quiet,
yes.
And they're indicating that they're probably going to outlaw it, if they haven't already said that in so many words. But and I'm not saying that you shouldn't or shouldn't buy Bitcoin. What I'm saying is, I personally, myself, would be very, very careful about investing a lot of money in something that could vanish very quickly.
You mentioned the house.
He is the money-making, drug-taking, car-crashing, fun coupon Wolf of Wall Street. Jordan Belfort, the man made famous, if not infamous, on the big screen by Leonardo DiCaprio.
I have been a rich man and I have been a poor man, and I choose rich every time.
What kind of money were you making then?
$1 million a week, about?
He began his climb up the finance food chain as a stockbroker in the 1980s, from penny stocks to multi-million-dollar deals.
I'm a born salesman. I have an ability naturally, from the first time I ever opened up my mouth to try to sell, the words came out perfectly.
Eventually running his own firm, Stratton Oakmont, where cash fell like rain. But soon, he admits, his appetites exceeded his income.
Voracious appetite to spend money, which I no longer have at all. As much as I could.
You'd spend on what?
Sex, drugs, rock and roll. I mean, houses, cars, boats, dinners, wine, champagne. I don't even like champagne.
Leading the life of stereotypical 80s Wall Street excess. Think Gordon Gekko.
Greed, for lack of a better word, is good.
But with wilder parties.
Well, I think it's about money first, but certainly about sex and drugs. It was an alternative universe.
For instance?
People having sex under their desks in coat closets. I mean, everyone just drugs lining the pockets of all the broke. There was hookers in the basement.
Belfort says his meteoric rise to the rich and shameless was headed for a crash landing, but he was too stoned to notice or even care.
What was your drug of choice?
Quaaludes to start, and then cocaine, and then everything after that. And I won't blame the mistakes I made on drugs. I would say that the drugs quieted down my guilt and remorse.
He didn't so much hit rock bottom. The rock hit him. In 1998, he was indicted for securities fraud and money laundering. The government says his firm defrauded investors out of more than $200 million.
I smuggled money to Switzerland, and the Swiss banker, and he got arrested here, and he gave everybody up, and I was one of them.
He would end up serving 22 months in prison.
How much money are we talking about?
Question. I don't know. I mean...
Now, the federal government says it was about $110 million.
Yeah.
And his list of victims is long.
Come here, buddy.
More than 1,500 people. On that list, Bob Sharon, who says he lost $250,000.
First investment, I think, was $11,000. I made a couple of thousand on it. The next one, I made $1,500. Took me probably 3 or 4 rounds for me to fully figure out that this is just nonsense.
And now, nearly 2 decades later,
I had bankrupt, upside-down values.
Belfort is trading on his notoriety and rebranding himself as a self-help guru, teaching people, he says, how to sell anything without breaking the law.
Are you the new Tony Robbins, Oprah Winfrey, Joel Osteen?
That's not who I am. My gift is to essentially take any person and to make them to be the best version of themselves.
Jordan Belfort says he hopes his second act will make for a positive contribution to society. Now 55, seemingly wiser, yet still a wolf.
Good or bad, once a wolf, always a wolf, right?
Hopefully a benevolent wolf.
you know,